What's up YouTube? Jake here with Venter Visuals, and on this channel we discuss and break down popular music video effects and video effects for creative edits. Today we are going to be taking a look at my top 7 music video effects in Adobe Premiere Pro without using any third-party plugins. In preparation for this video, I did a lot of research on YouTube about music video effects, finding what other people have done tutorials on, and trying to come up with some unique perspectives on some of those effects, and also bringing in some of my own effect combinations and sharing those with you guys as well. Now, the beauty of this video is that I'm not using any third-party plugins, no Saber plugins, no After Effects, none of that. If you have Adobe Premiere Pro, at least the baseline version, you're gonna be able to recreate these effects without having to spend any extra money. So we are here live in Adobe Premiere Pro, and as you can see, I've got some different clips chopped up here in my timeline, and each one of these clip sequences is a different effect that we're gonna talk about today. Now, one thing I do want you guys to keep in mind is that there's no top 7 music video effects. These are just some of my favorite music video effects to use. It's not like there's a music video editing committee out there that is ranking these the top 7 music video effects. Another thing to think about is that all of these effects are gonna look different depending on your footage and how you play around with these effect combinations and the keyframes, the timing, and that sort of thing. But either way, I'm excited to break these effects down, and I think a lot of these are gonna be very helpful for you guys and your music videos. So this is the flicker effect. I actually did a video pretty recently on different ways you can add in a flicker effect to your music videos. Let's just check out this example right here. We get this little flicker effect right here in the beginning of the music video, and it rolls kind of like perfectly with the drums. So there's like a kick drum in the background that hits as the flicker effect happens. This added a lot of excitement to the first drop of the song. So if we scroll over here to kind of like where this flicker effect starts, you can see that there's just 2 clips here. This is the first clip, this is the second clip, right? So 2 different areas. I cut the first clip over the second clip with the kick drum, and then I just changed the color to this black and white look here with the Lumetri color, right? Pretty easy stuff right here. If I just turn the Lumetri color off, as you can see, we get the raw color right there. And you'll notice that each one of these is only 1 frame. So the kick drum is very, very quick right there. So obviously the flicker effect needs to match. And then over here on the main beat drop right here, this one's a little bit different than these ones that kind of roll into the song, right? Because this is the main beat drop right here. So I wanted to make it look a little bit different. All I did to get this look was I just took this original clip underneath. I held Option, dragged it up here. So obviously we just deleted what we had. All I did once I duplicated this bottom clip, I just zoomed it in a little bit, adjusted the position to where I wanted it. Maybe that looks good right there. Now, if I zoom this out, you're not gonna get the borders, right? It's not gonna be perfectly aligned. As you can see, we get this top border and everything. So what you gotta do is nest this clip right here. And that's just gonna make sure that if I zoom this out now, maybe let's go to like 95%, we can see the border of the original clip underneath, which kind of helps give it that popping out effect. We just shrunk it down a little bit right there, and then I just overlaid that clip with this VHS overlay right here, which if I turn both of these off, you can see it's just a little VHS overlay, which I actually have a pack of overlays just like this coming out very soon, so stay tuned for that. And then you can see, you know, it kind of pops out right there. But another thing I did on the original music videos, I also took this Lumetri color we used on our first couple of clips and I applied it to this one as well. So you kind of get that washed out staticky look right there. So then all together, again, we just kind of have this rolling effect. The next effect we're gonna break down is just kind of like this basic flash effect that you see in a lot of music videos, whether they use it as transitions or as a just kind of an overlay. It's a pretty cool little effect and it's really easy to make. So here it is, guys. This actually comes right after this sequence that we just edited, right? So this is still the beginning of the song right here. And here it is again, this flash effect that I'm using right here as a transition. So all I did was I took an adjustment layer, which you just come down here to new item, adjustment layer, boom, drag it onto your timeline. And then I added a Luma corrector on top of that, which you can find that in your effects panel. And then what I did is I just keyframed the gamma, the pedestal, and the gain. And then I eased out right? So if I highlight those keyframes, right click, easy ease out. So imagine it as kind of like my speed of this flash is kind of like going over a little ramp, you know, like a skateboarder would. That's what right clicking on them and easy ease out does. And then obviously these ones on the end are easy ease in because we're going back into it. And then we just keep the ones in the middle linear because we don't need that to be gradual. We don't need that to kind of smooth out. We want that to be pretty direct. Just using the gamma pedestal and gain here under the luma corrector on this adjustment layer. And then what you can do once you have your adjustment layer created is hold Option and just drag it around. And then you can get that same flash effect in other areas of the music video. And it's very easy to just kind of like throw these around in the music video. Like this is a really cool look right here. You know, when you get the double flash effect, I like those a lot. So this third effect is just this motion blur type of like speed effect right here. So this is what this looks like. So again, it kind of hits on that kick drum, that big bass hit right here. You just take your original clip right here. So I just took this clip, copy pasted it, hit Command R on it, right? And change the speed to like, I don't know, let's just do 400. And then I hit Command R again. I also hit reverse speed right there. So now we have it reversing and going really fast. So let's just check out what this looks like. So obviously you can see right there. And I might even want to go a little faster. Let's go even more dramatic. Let's go like 1,000. That'd be crazy. Yeah, so we get that like really fast look right there, right? But it kind of looks unnatural because there's no motion blur and like we just are speeding up the clip, right? There's just no blur happening. So on this first example over here, the one that's already finished, I added this fast blur on here. And if I open it up, you can see that we got it at 104% horizontal. So let me just copy paste this fast blur onto this example that we're making over here. So you can see that it just blurs, and that's because I have a mask on this fast blur too. So you can make a mask using one of these tools, and then you can feather that mask, and I also have it inverted. That just enables me to blur either the inside or the outside of this circle and keep the circle in focus, like whatever's in the circle in focus. So obviously I kept him in focus right here and blurred the edges, and that kind of gave it a more natural like zoom around look, you know? So that works a lot better in my opinion than just leaving it without the blur. And then what I did on this original example over here is I used a invert effect on it. So let me just copy paste that on this one. And then I just changed the setting from RGB to in phase chrominance. And I also like this quadrature chrominance too. Kind of gives it like this vintagey feel. Just kind of cool ways to mess around with the color. All I did from this point was nest it. So boom, we'll nest that clip. And then I did that little scale effect so we still get the borders of the clip below it right there. So I'll just drag that over this clip already. Obviously it's not perfectly lined up because we just did it really fast, but it's the same effect right there. And then I just used one of those little flash effects over top of that transition, right? So in the end, we get this. This next effect I want to talk about are Saber Transitions. I made these Saber Transitions for music videos. So right here on my timeline, you can kind of see what a Saber Transition is. And it's just this glowing line transition that pops out of the background and reveals a clip underneath. I made a pack of 20 of these. They're on my website. You can check them out below if you would like to. I made these Saber Transitions in After Effects and I just love how they look over music videos. And some of the filmmakers and editors out there who actually got the pack on my website and have sent me their projects, it looks really dope. So I'm very hyped on this pack of Saber Transitions and I love using them for music videos because you get these cool transitions that are really unique. They just really pop out, as you can see right there. So if I just play this back right here, you can see what it looks like in full motion. Cool thing about these Saber Transitions is that if I apply a color balance HLS onto the Saber Transition, I can change the hue and change the color of these Saber Transitions to whatever I want. And then you can also play around with this blend mode opacity. So you can kind of get different looks right here just by changing the opacity settings. So obviously a lot to customize with these Saber Transitions, and I actually have a free pack on my website if you want to go check it out. I'll include a link below. So the next effect we're going to talk about is a little more simple. It's just a keyframe zoom. So we have a clip right here. If I click on this clip, you can see that we have our keyframes for our position and our scale. So as you can see in the beginning of this clip, it zooms out. That's an artificial zoom right there. That's all added in Premiere Pro. And then we zoom back in towards the end before we transition into the next clip. Yeah, all I did was just keyframe the position and scale for this. And then I easy eased in these keyframes right here, you know, temporal interpolation, easy ease in, and then I easy eased out these keyframes here at the end. You know, you get this nice little dynamic zoom look here without actually having to zoom in on your camera. It's a nice little way to add some movement to shots that are a little more static. So let's just take a look at what this looks like in regular motion. Here at the end, I added another little flash effect too for that transition. So we're gonna move on to effect number 6, which is just kind of this trippy zooming overlay type of effect. And if I just scroll over the timeline, you can see it just kind of like, it gets real trippy there at the end for a second. This clip is just overlaid on itself 3 times. If I turn these top 2 layers off, you can see it's just nothing's happening because that's the original clip. Now I just copy pasted that clip on top of itself. I changed the blend mode to light in 60%. I just keyframed scales, right? So it starts to like pop out, and then I hit easy ease out on this keyframe, right? So it starts to like easy ease out and just kind of pops out of the background and gives them kind of like that trippy out of focus clone effect. So then what I did is I just copy pasted that same layer on top of itself, kept the scale the same, but turned the opacity down to 20%, turned the blend mode to lighten, and then that gave us one final layer. So as you can see, it's like most in focus in the middle still, and then the opacity gets turned down a little bit to 60% and then 20%, right? So we have 3 layers zooming out of the original footage, right? So pretty cool little trippy effect there. As you can see here later in the music video, we do it again at the end of this clip, right? So it starts as nothing. This is the original clip, there's no layers, and then we put layers on top of it and change the blend modes, change the scale, and keyframe a few things. You know, obviously I used the different blend mode for these ones, so you can play around with the blend modes to get different looks. I could change this one from color dodge to lighten, takes all that like brightness away, but using the color dodge does bring in kind of like this more surreal glow type of effect. So that's why I kept it on this one. This final effect is combining masking with a little bit of echo. Now there's a lot of ways to use the masking tools in Adobe Premiere Pro. This is just one quick example of that. Once we kind of break it down, you're gonna understand why it's so customizable. It's just gonna be like this transition right here into the next clip right there. So check this out, guys. So I'm starting to see a lot of these types of effects used in music videos, and they are pretty trippy, and I do love them because it's a really easy way to kind of take the viewer's eyes and move them into the next clip. We got the raw clips over here. Obviously one is really color corrected and then the other one has no color correction. So let's just throw that on there. You know, now we got a little more visual continuity going on. So what I'm gonna do is just come to this split where these 2 clips are. I'm just gonna take a snapshot. Now I'm gonna make sure that it says import into project right here. So I'll hit OK. Now if you don't see this snapshot export frame icon right here, you can open up this button editor and just drag it on to your toolbar right here. So we took a screenshot of this frame right here, which is the first frame of the second clip. It's over here in our project panel. We're just gonna click and drag that onto our timeline. Gonna go ahead and cut a large part of that excess off right there. So let's just scroll over and see how many frames this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 frames. So now all I'm gonna do is take this picture that we've placed above our first clip, come over here to my opacity, click on this pen tool, and I'm just gonna start tracing around his outline here. Now I can zoom in using this zoom tool, this zoom button right here, and just get as specific as I want. A really easy way to trace people out of the background is by rotoscoping, but that's done in After Effects. That's not to say it's impossible to do in Premiere Pro. As you can see, you can get really specific here in Premiere Pro and get a really nice outline if you just spend the time doing it. And we're just gonna come down here. I'm gonna click H on my keyboard to move my screen. You know, we're just gonna kind of trace around. You know, it's definitely far from perfect, all right? So boom, now we've traced around him. We get this outline of him. You know, we can change the feather so it's really harsh background, or we can kind of feather it a little bit. Let's do a little feather, why not? You know, we got this little outline of him. He's obviously masked out of the background, maybe too much feather up there on his head. So let's take it down a little bit, boom. Okay, that's fine. And then we're gonna zoom back out to our regular screen so we can see the full effect happening. I'm just gonna keyframe this so it moves across the screen. So we're gonna come up here to my position and scale. We're gonna make a keyframe because this is where we want it to end. We want it to end at the very beginning of the next clip. I'm gonna go ahead and right click on those, hit ease in, and then starting at this very first keyframe, we're gonna drag them over here to the left. So on the very first frame, he starts all the way on the left side of the screen. Now if I just kind of scroll over here, you can see that he moves into the next clip right there, but it does look a little unnatural. So what we're gonna do is come over here to our effects tab, type in gauge and blur, go ahead and throw one of them puppies on there, change it from horizontal and vertical to just horizontal. Start it pretty blurry, like, you know, that's pretty good right there. Gonna make a keyframe there for blurriness at the very first keyframe, and as it kind of slides into the next shot, it's gonna get less blurry, so we'll just reset it there at the end, drag that keyframe over. So a little blurry, and then perfect. So now that we got some motion blur, we're gonna right click on this clip, we're gonna hit nest, hit OK, and then we're gonna go ahead and come over here to our effects tab, type an effect called echo. I'm gonna drag that effect onto this nested sequence right here, and as you can see, we get a clone of him. So I'm gonna change the number of echoes to, let's go with like 4 echoes, and then we're gonna change the decay to something around 7, and then we're gonna also change the echo operator to composite in front. So now as I scroll over here, you can see we kind of get like that clone effect kind of popping out of him. So let's just take a look at what this looks like in regular motion. So really creative way to kind of transition from one clip to the next. And again, all we did was export the first frame of the second clip, brought it over here, overlaid it, masked it using the opacity pen tool, added some gauge and blur on top of it. Then we nested that together, and then we added the echo behind it, which gave it that kind of like clone effect. I'm gonna be dropping a lot more videos on these sort of topics this year, and I'm also gonna be coming out with a lot of visual packs like overlays and transitions that are gonna be designed for this type of editing. So if you guys are interested in following along the journey, definitely hit that subscribe button. And if you learned anything from this video, definitely hit the like button down below. It lets me know I'm doing a good job. If you are interested in downloading some free overlays, transitions, and light leaks, check out my website, venturevisuals.com. I'll include a link for that below. Got a bunch of cool stuff on there designed for music videos and creative edits. And I'm super excited because I'm dropping some other dope visual packs this year. I just want to show you guys my texture pack that's coming out pretty soon. It's just a bunch of overlays that I designed that I think are gonna be sick for like music videos and creative edits. I spent a long time trying to figure out how I can make this stuff and designing this pack so that it would actually be useful in different scenarios, especially when it comes to music videos. Obviously, as I just scroll through here, you can see all these different frames, all these different overlays, and this pack is coming out real soon. It's gonna be in 4K. It's gonna be on my website, venturevisuals.com. I'm hoping I can get it out within the week, so if you're watching this video and it's not the week of Monday, February 7th, 2022, definitely check out my website because I might have already dropped this texture overlay pack on there. Let's take this blue splash texture because I think this is really creative. Let's just drag it over some of our clips over here on our timeline. I'm just gonna take this texture overlay and change the blend mode to screen, and boom, we kind of get like this glow effect. Look how dope this looks like as an intro overlay right here. Like that is so sick in this little vibe, like in these indoor shots. So maybe I just keep it for those indoor shots. I'll delete the rest. This is why I'm so excited to be dropping this pack because I think it's gonna be really awesome for these types of visuals. And I'm gonna update it throughout the year as well as I continue to develop new overlays for my own edits. So let's just render this real quick and just check it out in full motion. Like, come on, that looks so dope, especially on this screen. I might even just keep it on like this title screen right here. Like, that is so sick right there. Are you kidding me? I'm so stoked on that. This is the first time I'm actually seeing like the blue splash overlay on some footage. So I'm very excited how this looks, and I couldn't be more stoked to be dropping a pack of these with you guys. So I think this is gonna really help up the ante on some music videos. I'm very excited. Been doing a lot of research on how to make this stuff and working on developing overlays and textures that I don't think are out on the market. You know, I'm trying to come up with my own unique ideas for this stuff. That's why I'm very excited for what's to come this year. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in and watching my videos. I really appreciate it. Until next time, I'm Jake Venner. Peace out.